the Brony stand-up comedy panel. It was going to be just me, because I didn't know how many people were actually interested in stand-up comedy. Who here actually wants to perform some? See, we actually have quite a few people that like to perform some. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this a shorter open mic. I'm going to do a few stuff. I'll kind of be the small host of it. Tomorrow night, though, we do actually have an official open mic starting at 11 p.m. And it can go until like whenever, until like the crowd just starts dying down. So that one can be fun. So if any of you guys don't end up getting up here within this 40 minutes or something, feel free to come by tomorrow and we can all have a good time, right? All right, so you guys are all con attendees mostly. How are you guys enjoying the con? All right, so if you ever have the unpleasant experience of being on the other side of the convention and running it, you will not even be able to make, like, I'm surprised I can talk this loud, let alone stand at this moment. Because, like, I've been to a lot of conventions, and this is my first time ever working one. So, like, whenever you go to a convention, your like, worst problem is, like, oh, I don't have $5 to get a thing in the dealer's room. And then when you're running a convention, your big problem is, like, oh my God, we don't have $5,000 in order to get this. And you're like, it's just going to ruin your whole thing. And so, yeah, when you're running a convention, it's a little different when you're on the other side of it. But yeah, I'm glad you guys are all enjoying it because this convention is like my baby, except I didn't give birth to it.
Don't hurry.
That wasn't obvious. I'm not the father. Thank you, Maury. I like Maury because he treats like such serious subjects almost just like a game show in a way. Like, it doesn't even seem like it's like a real test. It just seems like a game show. Like, and let's see the results. Like, everyone like does a drum roll. It's like, you are not the father. And everyone like starts flipping out. No matter what, every woman in the audience is booing. Every man's just like flipping out. That's just how Maury works. Like, that show is hilarious because it doesn't make any sense. How it works is the first person that comes out gets applauded, no matter what. It'll be like, yeah, I sexually abused my wife and beat her every day. Let's bring out Tom. And it's just like, yeah! And then the next one, and it's like, let's bring out Carol. It's just, everyone's like, boo, you came out second. That's how it works. If they come out second, you're going to get booed. That's just my experience from watching Maury. Now, this has nothing to do with ponies, which is most likely what we're here for. I know there's some homestuckers here. Who's a homestucker?
What?
I don't know. What are you called if you like homestuck?
What's homestuck? Get out of here!
This is amazing. Okay. Cool. So you know homestuck fans in here.
Go home!
She's in Applejack cosplay, so we'll allow her. So yeah. Does anyone here ever do online role-playing when it comes to My Little Pony? Wow, now I feel really terribly awkward. So I got into online role-playing on some of those RIC chats with this black box and text.
Second line.
Little name. But I didn't understand what it was when I first went into it. I just saw like chat room and I was so bored. It was like 2 in the morning. I decided to get on. I had no idea what was going on. This guy is like role-playing with his son, just like some like small family thing. And I was like, I just typed in, hey. And then he's like, how'd you get into my house? Enter's house and then 2 asterisks to like make sure that's a motion or anything. I didn't even put big quotes on the hay, so it was like all messed up. And it took me a while to catch on what was going on, but then I realized like, all right, this is gonna be fun to troll these guys. So like, he's like, Daddy, who's this strange pony? And then and then the asterisk, I puts muzzle on son. Is I was blown away. I'm like, wow, they're not just like, no, I'm not going to do that. They were like the father then goes, in the dungeon in like a cellar in like Europe. It was insane. And so at one point in like the parentheses, if you don't know real quick, if you put something in parentheses, it means it's out of character. You're saying this as like a real person. So in the parentheses, he puts, dude, ... It's 3 a.m. I have a hangover and I really want to get to sleep. Please let my son out. This guy is legitimately worried about this other person that he will probably never meet in his life. And then it's just a pile of text to him. And he was just like, dude, please just let him out. He's scared. And I was just like, it's not actually like in a muzzle. Like, you can let him out. And so I was just like, fine, I'll let him out. He goes, thank you, like an exclamation point. And then I was like, only if you can answer this riddle. To which he then goes, sigh in the asterisks, what's the riddle? To which I then go, what's my middle name? And he's like, how is that a riddle? I say, it's not, it's a true question. No pony has a middle name. Has there been one? I don't think so. No. So that's a lie. So is the K. The pie is also a lie now. But yeah, I said that. I hadn't gotten too far into the show yet. But, so yeah, I didn't know ponies could have names like that. But yeah, so after that, I just put like, throw son in acid. Right after that, the son logged out. So it was like he actually died. The father just starts typing out like, no! And he's like doing all these angry faces. And I just my ass off. But I went back like 5 minutes later, logged back in to see if like they just continue role playing. And then like after I had left, no one else was in there. The father was still typing out like stuff, like as if someone was reading it. He was like, I like lean into the lava, looking where my son fell in, crying. It's like, no one else is here. He's still drunk. I thought he had a hangover. I thought he was gonna get off there as quickly as possible. But I guess not. So that was my first experience with role playing. And then I found out most people do it just to jack off. Alright, so now I'm getting, who else would like to perform some comedy up here? So your hand first. Let's give a round of applause.
Hi, y'all doing Fiesta Equestria? You doing good? My name's Dan Boudreaux. I'm actually a stand-up comic who I have toured sci-fi and comic book conventions all over the Gulf Coast. So I thought I'd come, when I heard from Pickle at Comic Palooza about this, I thought, hey, I'll come entertain y'all. Because I love going to conventions because the craziest stuff happens here. I remember one time I'm at a convention and I'm just sitting around, we're all tired, it's Sunday, and my buddy's trying to teach his kids how to play that hand slap game. And then this old guy walks up, like, hey, I'll teach you. And he starts playing with them to show the kids. Now my friend's like, okay. I'm flipping out, because this is Gary Chalk, who's the voice of Optimus Primal in Transformers Beast Wars. And, you know, Armada and everything like that. So they play for like 3 minutes, I'm just blown away. The kids are like, they start playing with the kids, they're like, okay, walks off. I walk up, I'm like, dude. He goes, yeah, that was kind of weird. I'm like, that was Gary Chalk. He's the voice of Optimus Prime. Really? Yeah. Dude, I just played patty cake with Optimus Prime. Totally kicked his butt. I love conventions. I went to the San Diego Comic-Con a while back, and I was staying at a hotel. At this hotel, though, was not just all the nerds. There was a whole floor dedicated to a Jehovah's Witness convention. So me and a friend of mine are just like, what are we gonna do? We have to take advantage of this. You know what we did? 3 o'clock in the mornings, we went knocking on their doors. We told about the Pope. Oh yeah, I'm not knocking religion though. I personally have the greatest piece of Christian memorabilia known to man. I have James Earl Jones Reads the Bible audiobook. Oh, it's so great. It's awesome. But it's kind of confusing when you hit the Gospels. Because you expect something a little different. It's like, Luke, chapter 12. to Jesus. Jesus, I am your father. It's not true! Oh boy, but you can't tell by the way I'm dressed, I do not have a lady to dress me. No, but I've been trying to figure out what my problem is. A lot of times I get put in the friend zone. Y'all know the friend zone? Yeah. The friend zone is a lot like watching an M. Night Shyamalan movie. You go into it, you're like, this could be interesting, but by the end of it, you're out $20. You have no idea what just happened. You're like, was I dead the entire time? No, that's called things we don't want to ever talk about again. That's when you were blacked out in Tijuana. You know? No, but I gained a little weight because a few years back I got hit by a car and broke my back. Ooh. Yes. Although it was great because I broke it up the side of the spine, which is the hardest thing to do without any vertebrae fully breaking off. My roommate goes, dude, you are only lucky when you're unlucky. And that's how I realize how I'm going to die. I'm going to walk into a convenience store to buy like an energy drink, and some crackhead's going to come in, rob the place, and shoot me. And as I'm dying on the ground, I look up at the clerk and I go, the winning lotto numbers are 4, 8, 15, 16. 43, 42. I must input them into a computer. No one watched Lost? No monster. Anyway.
We're all dead.
Yes, we're all dead. Now the interesting thing about breaking my back is afterwards I gained a lot of weight. So I had to go to the gym. I realized something about the gym. No matter when you go to the gym, there is always naked old people in the locker room. You go at 5 in the morning, they've just opened up. There's guys without towels just walking around. 3 in the afternoon, the lunch rush is over. There's some old dude just walking around with Pikachu. It is 11 o'clock at night and they've been closed for 2 hours. I bet you if you go there, there are still naked men. It is my personal opinion that there is a kennel in the back of their station where they keep their naked old people. In the mornings they release them into the wilds of the storm. And at night they attract them back with the sense of oatmeal and Ben Gates. But you know, when I broke my back, I got to watch a lot of TV. And the one show I got really into while I was on painkillers and hurting was Ancient Aliens. I love that show because they say the craziest stuff and back it up with absolutely nothing. It's like, well, obviously God couldn't have created mankind. So the only logical explanation is ancient aliens. What? By the same logic, you could say just about anything. I could go, well, obviously God did not create mankind. So the only logical explanation is magical ponies. Equines, especially magical, have been in human myth and lore throughout our entire lifespan of recorded history. Which obviously means that Rainbow Dash is Hermes, and Artax from the Never-Ending Story is Jesus Christ. Because he was awesome, he died for Atreyu's sins, but he came back at the end of the movie. I told that joke to Andrew Francis at Candlelight Gardens. He wanted to have a drink with me. That was awesome. Apparently, also, if that's his favorite movie, so go tweet him stuff about Artax dying, and that would be really weird. I just love coming to cons, and it really feels good to perform. I should probably move on to the next person, so I'll leave y'all with a little word of wisdom. You know that old saying, find a penny, pick it up, all day long you've got good luck? If you find a penny at 11:55 at night, does it have rollover minutes?
All right, thank you. So now before we move on to the next person, I want to share one more interesting story that I've had actually recently. This one will hopefully be taken off of the recording. This one's a little special thing for you guys. So, yesterday, I pretty much drove around to get voice actors in Haoshin. I was doing that a lot, but the funny thing about that, it sounds like it'd be really cool to do that, but when it's like 2 in the morning or midnight, whatever, it's not as fun. But when you get to hear the voice of Rainbow Dash, for some reason, I don't even remember how it came up, but just in the voice of Rainbow Dash, just go like, fuck your shit. One world to hear, because it's just like, you're just hearing, you're hearing the character, and especially it's even better if you're not facing them, and then you hear it, because then it's like she's just flying around somewhere just cursing at you. Apparently, Andrea Littman at Comic Palooza recently, she was going up an elevator, or she was wanting to go down, she went onto an elevator, or something of that effect. And in a small, Fluttershy type voice, she just went like, I couldn't hear that I dropped 3 F-bombs in a very light voice. But yeah, so that was really interesting to be able to see, just voice actors in that kind of element. No pun intended. All right, so who else would like to get up here? I saw your hand. Let's get up here.
What's up, guys? I didn't know to prepare anything, so let's see what the hell happens. All right, so basically, I used to work for a certain burrito company. They're really good, by the way, but I gotta tell you, working in food service is horrible. Who's worked in food service in here before? Wow. Yes. So about 40% of the room knows my pain. Like everyone who works in food service just do it. Go ahead. It's pretty terrible. And when you're working at this burrito place that has a line with all the food out in front of it. Basically, the customers don't listen to anything you say. You're just like, would you like white rice? Would you like white rice or brown rice? And they're like, no, I want some rice. What kind of meat do you want? We have chicken, we have steak, we have shredded beef and shredded pork. You got any ground beef? No one pays any attention to what you're saying. And I was saying to my coworkers, like, man, these customers just never listen to what we say. And they're like, yeah. They're like, yeah, you're right, they don't. I said, no, you don't understand. They actually don't hear the words that we say. And they're like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? And I said, well, I'll bet each of you $1 that I can say the word penis. Is that okay? I'll bet each of you $1. Meaning I'll give all you $1 if I'm wrong. I can say penis to the next customer that walks in and they will not even notice whatsoever. So and they're like, you are so on. I'm like, all right, next customer walks up and I'm like, hey, how you doing today? What can I get for you? They're like, can I? They're like, I'll get a burrito. Pop it down. White rice or brown rice? Brown rice, please. Pop it in there. Would you like black beans or penis beans? Give me the black beans. Like, what kind of meat do you like? We have chicken, we have steak, we have shredded beef, shredded peas. I'll have the chicken. Mild, medium, green, medium, penis, or hot sauce. I just got a more bowl and I just got to get it. I said, would you like sour cream and penis? At the end of the line, I pointed to the lettuce. All I had to do was point. I pointed to the lettuce and said, would you like penis, sir? Yes, I would. I'll bet you would. My coworkers abandoned me on the line. They were around the corner cracking up like that. That was the easiest $5 I've ever made. Speaking of getting lucky, the only thing I'll do is I just want to tell a story about this guy right here. So, speaking of luck, we are now convinced that there are 2 gods up there somewhere. Whatever your faith is, I'm sorry, this is the real one. There are 2 gods up there. One loves this guy and wants to see him succeed. The other one hates him and wants him to die. He was just driving down the road one night and he was stopped at a stoplight. And what's the dumbest thing that can happen when you're stopped at a stoplight? Obviously, somebody comes up behind you at 45 miles per hour and just rams into you without stopping, which is exactly what happened to him. He just got crushed from behind without him stopping. The car's all banged up. He's shaken up. He's okay. He gets out of the car. The other guy gets out of the car, and he's like, "Oh my God, are you okay? I'm so sorry." He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Just take down their information, and they start exchanging information while they're on the road. Now, if you're already in an accident where somebody slammed into you at 45 miles per hour without paying attention at all, what's the next dumbest thing that could possibly happen to you? Another car! After that car comes up and slams into the accident. So he's just out there, he's trying to call his mother to tell him that he's okay. And, he's like, and so the phone's ringing, he's like, hello, Mom, are you... The phone flew away and landed in Equestria somewhere. That was gone. The next thing he knows, he is in the middle of a 4-lane highway and looks up to see oncoming headlights. He's like, he gets up and somehow with his like surely crushed legs manages to crawl to the median and finally collapse. You guys saw that. He gets to the hospital. And the story is happy. He's obviously not dead. He's right there. He's fine. The story is happy. He gets to the hospital, and the doctor is like okay, he's like, okay, sir, you were in an accident. I'm really sorry about that. Let me look at your stuff. You have no broken bones. Are you Wolverine? He freaked out the doctor. On duty at the time. I should have ended with the second story because that was funnier. Thanks, guys.
Hold on, how long has this been up here? It says I just had sex. Is it level?
No. We're just coming up here.
Oh, okay.
We're inserting ourselves. So what's my limit? That's what she said.
The whole thing. All right.
The safety word is buttercorn.
No, the safety word is tub of butter.
Whatever. Same difference. No, let's call it.
All right, so before you guys get up here, I'm going to do a transition joke.
Okay.
Oh man, why the hell, dude?
Yeah. You guys are standing here. All right. So,
Hold on, not ready.
all right. So have everybody ever jumped with an anti-brony?
Once or twice.
Yeah. None of you have? Am I the only? Okay, yeah. Well, this is when I ask you a question, you're supposed to. When I ask you a question, you're supposed to respond. How many of you have dealt with an anti-brony? If you don't know what an anti-brony is, it's really self-explanatory. Basically, they are against friendship and they're against My Little Pony and people who they're against bronies. They do not think it's right. Well, I was dealing with one, and he was. We were going back and forth, arguing. It's never going to end. It's like it's an argument just about opinion. No one really can ever win. But at one point, I did think I had won because he had replied with this very, very well thought out thing about how all this stuff just about the clopping in the fandom, if you guys know what that is. A lot of stuff is very taboo. A lot of stuff no one really likes to talk about how some bronies may be attracted to like certain purple unicorns.
Hell, man.
But the thing is, after all this, I realized that I had the best argument for. I came back with him and I said, "Sir, your whole argument, this whole thing, has been proven incorrect. For Twilight Sparkle is not purple; she is lavender." You could have at least said something a little remotely closer to purple. Maybe even lilac would have worked. But purple, really. I just thought that was a little silly, for she is obviously lavender if any of you have ever seen her, which you most likely have. Now, which one of you is going up next?
Oh, okay, let's just talk. Oh, we're a stand-up group.
They're a stand-up group. Let's get them
That's not true.
It's okay. I think the idea here is that one of us fails, we get to drag each other down.
That's what she said. I think we're at a convention.
Hey, sit down.
Yeah. So
Sit down.
originally we were going to call this tub of butter.
Well, we were just without some idiot running in with a horse mask.
That ditched us. Food.
Yeah, convention no less.
Yeah. Isn't it like is it like 8 o'clock?
Now that I'm up here, I don't have any jokes.
What? Okay, you already blew it. Okay, no.
You gotta take off your hat.
No. Here's the thing. Okay. I'm not looking directly at. Here's the thing. Okay. So I went to a restaurant this one time, right? With my good friend Ray. Now my good friend Ray is a little bit of an oversized individual, okay? So we go in and we sit down at this restaurant. It's sort of one of those like old Chicago style, you know, sports bar type things. Only it was like really shoddy and probably failed a couple of health violations. But we sit there and so we sit down and he orders like a hamburger or something. Doesn't even, no fries or anything else with it. Just gets a hamburger, that's it, okay? And the waitress comes back and brings the hamburger and sets down this other, you know, little cup thing. It's like it's a tub, and and we sit there and, you know, she goes off or whatever, and I look down, I'm like, dude, is that a fucking tub of butter? And so apparently he didn't have bread. He didn't have like anything that would need butter. She just handed him a hamburger and a side of butter. And I'm like, really, is my friend that fat? You're just like, this guy probably needs to stop with butter to eat this hamburger. Like, really? And so that's why a tub of butter. Oh God, so high. No, so. Well, anyway, so I bought this. Don't look at it. God, I hate you so much. So he's been showing. He's had this thing all day, right? And he keeps like showing it to me, like trying to. I bought this. I was so excited. I was just like, oh, it's candy. It's candy. And I was like, dude, you realize that its mouth, like it looks like I'm staring directly into a gaping vagina. And he's like, what? And he looked at it and he's like, oh my God, you're right. And I was like, look, like there's some eyeballs like right here, and like the claws like from Dead Space for people that know that game, like the claw monster things, right? Necromorphs. What the fuck ever they are, I don't know.
And then of course he proceeds to continue to shove it into each of our faces.
Put it in your mouth.
What? Wait, not for you, Seth.
Put it in your mouth. This is a buttermore. If you don't know what this is, go kill yourself. No, really don't do that.
We're supposed to advertise to our target audience by telling them to eat your monsters.
YOLO. No, listen. I don't even. So there's a lot of people, I guess, that get really upset with the mention of YOLO. Okay, but there's some people in particular that really hit. They're like, oh, I fucking hate that word. And it's like really, like, what's really wrong with YOLO? You know, I understand that there's people that get really upset because of the fact that it's used, you know, in such a way that, you know, it's like Young Money, Cash Money, Billionaire. Like that's a really stupid one. Young Money. Did you know that was the thing? That's the thing. Young Money, Cash Money, Billionaire.
Like those, like, no offense, but those white kids that make like those rap CDs and there's like all the dollar bills. It's like,
Oh, right. I'm sorry, I need to go pop some tags because I only got $20 in my pocket.
So the other day, so we run a podcast, which you can listen to if you like this. That's totally was an advertisement.
Shameless plug.
And so butter. So I told this guy, hey man, I need you to edit. And he's like, oh, all right. And then I get a Facebook back like, nah man, I can't edit. I'm out looking for that booty. What?
Yes, yes, that was my excuse for not editing.
No,
I am on the hunt.
looking for that booty. I was like, it was Philadelphia, I was raised. And the fire playground. Everything changed for the fire.
Are we fucking bitches at the playground?
So anyway, the panel before this was like the voice actor panel, and so like I was here for a little bit, just like watching Shamrock. And I would like look down, and I would look up, and he was just staring so fucking. I was sitting right there, he'd be like, just like talk and look at me. I didn't even know I was doing it. I was scared.
I'm sorry.
I'm scared the shit out of man.
Dude, both of you freaked me out. I don't even know how I got here. Please, call the police if you can.
So you don't know? Alright, so funny
He's
story.
dead. Otherwise, we would have been gone.
Okay, that reminds me of a really good thing. Actually, so who here is a fan of Game of Thrones?
Winter is coming.
Wow, not many people. I'm actually kind of surprised.
I'm just kidding, we love it.
We're just like, we have to say that at some point. So, in season 3, has anyone not seen season 3 that watches Game of Thrones?
I read the book.
Okay,
Good job, buddy. You win a prize. Here's what I just had sex. You win. Deliver that tip.
Congratulations! And so in episode 9 of season 3, right, is where shit hits the fan. What?
We gotta end this on a good joke.
This is a good. Well.
Are you insisting that everything we have done is nothing so far?
Okay, so so in that episode, basically everyone dies. That's not totally.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert! Everyone dies. And so I saw this actually on Tumblr for those of you that tumble. It had the gal. Oh shit, what's her name? I don't know. She's not important. And it's like Macy Williams or something. Anyway, she's the gal who does the little girl star kid. And she had some weird picture where it was like the picture sectionals, you know, with the GIF images and stuff. And she was like, oh my god, my mother and my brother are dead. Like, so dead. And I was like, man, that's really interesting, because in the show, she would have been probably sad.
Well, anyway, I guess I'll end this on a really stupid joke. So, here's a riddle for everybody. So what's...
Sorry.
I don't work at Sprint. A candle at dinner, what is it not complete without? Y'all are stupid. It's dominant hands.
I'll give you a hint. Pamela Henderson.
Wow, that was a
Masturbation! Oh god.
we'll be playing Cards Against Humanity in the lobby later.
I like how they yelled one word and got a bunch of claps. That's the only time you can ever do that at a Brony convention. I will not repeat the word, for I will be clean. Alright, the next guy we're going to get up here, these cool guys with Bronies for Good, so give him some respect. His name's Rummel, let's get him on up here.
Russell,
Make yourself comfy.
Yeah? Okay, ready to begin. Okay, so I'm going to tell you two stories. Two stories only, okay? One of them is Brony related, one of them is not Brony related. So the one that is Brony related pertains to a specific con that we had recently that, well, we all know had featured a lot.
That shall not be named?
Yes. Mention that shall not be named, but we are naming it now. Las Pegasus Unicon. Yes. You know that this con featured an exorbitant amount of spaghetti, meatballs, marinara, cheese, and a little bit of sausage. Actually, a lot of sausage. So, I'm going to tell you one fairly brief story that happened to me when I was at my table. So, I was at my table doing my usual thing, going to people like, hey! Come and donate. Seriously. Donate. Here, donate. Okay, good. So, people were doing that. And a friend of mine by the name of Pinky, like seriously, her name is actually Pinky. She's a cosplayer, and she cosplays Pinkie Pie. Hence Pinky. So, Pinky... It's brilliant. Yeah, I know, right? So, Pinky comes by, and she's like, Rommel, I have a surprise for you. I'm like, okay, what is the surprise, Pinky? Herpes! So, she comes behind me. She hugs me with all of her might. And while she's doing this, there is a mother with 2 kids in a table adjacent to where I was.
I feel like I was there for this.
Potentially so. So, one of the little kids cosplays a plush shy, absolutely adorable little thing. Bless her heart. She goes and she says, "Yay, herpes!" Has the most absolutely horrified look on her face. I'm busting out laughing. Nikki falls over with a terrible, terrible look on her face, and the mother simply takes the 2 kids, walks them away, and as they're walking away, I hear the little kid say, "Mama, what's herpes?" She says, "I'll tell you when you're old." So that's the first story. Yeah. The second story. Now this one is not burning related, but it pertains to a very, very memorable experience I had in my freshman year at university. And it involves a man by the name of Mr. Matt Stone. Now what Mr. Matt Stone was very distinct for was a fake British accent. And he uses fake British accent and his soccer playing prowess to get the ladies. So, he was quite the player. I mean seriously, within the first week in which I was living with this guy, he had 6 different girls within this first 7 days. So, and every single time I somehow managed to walk in on them. Every single fucking time. So, he continued this pattern of behavior for quite a period of time, until he finally settled on a regular fuck buddy. Her name was Katie. Now, Katie was very, very particular, because Katie would come up, and she would go to my room as I was playing TF2, trying to hide away from the world, and procrastinating on statistics or any other stupid G's, and she would say, "Martin," because that's my real name, "can I ask you to leave the room?" I'm like, "Why? I'm in the middle of my thing." It's like, "Well, I need to prepare the room for Matt." Because, you see, Katie was very particular about preparing surprises across the entire year for Matt, each one a different theme, corresponding to the particular point of the year. So for Halloween, she did a bit of, a sexy bunny outfit, and all the other fun, typical things that they would do, and they'd fuck for about 4 or 5 hours, and then I get back, and then they'd still be fucking, and then I have to go back down in the lobby, crying to my friend, saying, "Matt won't stop fucking! I can't play TF2!" So, this whole thing continued for quite a while, until one particular night. Now, I'm going to give you a bit of a warning. This gets really, really raunchy. I think you're comfortable with this. I suggest leaving the room now. Nobody? Alright, let's get started. So, this was the night before my statistics exam. It was my final. So, I was studying, doing my thing, trying to be a responsible student. And at about 2 o'clock in the morning, I decided, okay, I'm going to roll myself with a little bit of TF2. Okay. Alright, so basically, as I was playing TF2, Matt stumbles in, extremely intoxicated, and he says, "My nigga Martin! My nigga Martin!" And then he proceeds to hug me and then do all the typical things. And then Katie walks in right after it, and she says, so, they go out, and I said, okay, well, this is happening. And they go up, they go to their bed, and they start fucking, of course. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to bed. So I try to go to bed. 30 minutes later, they wake up, they stumble onto my bed and start kind of getting into, a little bit of the pattern there. And then they go into the bathroom. And this is where it got really bad. So, first, they did it in the shower. Then they did it on the sink. Then they did it on the floor. Then they did it on the floor again. And then they got up, got out of the bathroom, stumbled onto my bed again, and then did it on my bed.
Are you in it?
Yes. And then, finally, they they went to their bed, and then they fucked for another 2 hours. I seriously, the endurance was boggles my mind. They go, and then they finally fall asleep. And then I'm like, oh, thank God, it's over. Oh, thanks, Celestia. I checked the time. It's 6:30 in the morning. My exam's in 30 minutes. Needless to say, I had to punch a baby later that night.
Alright guys, we're about to spin the Brony stand-up comedy panel. Remember that tomorrow at 11 until whenever, we'll be doing an open mic for other people that want to do stand-up comedy. That was Ronald for Bronies for Good. His table is right on the right when you enter the dealer's room. Please donate stuff for the charity auction that's going to be happening Sunday. We love donations. Please do that, guys. I love you all. Thanks for coming, and I hope no one got offended.
That was so funny.